From making sure that no one would ever spend their money on Splickety, to calling out the founder of Simple Habit for what she really was, let's talk about some of Mark Cuban's most controversial moments on Shark Tank. A panel of millionaire investors who are looking for the next big thing. Well, 5 millionaires and 1 billionaire. Mark Cuban is leading the Sharks with a net worth of $6.2 billion. His journey from selling garbage bags and newspapers as a kid to becoming the principal owner of the Dallas Mavericks has been an awe-inspiring one. Did you know he paid his way through Indiana University by giving disco lessons? Yup, there's a lot we don't know about the billionaire investor. Cuban made his first profit when he sold the co-owned video portal, Broadcast.com, to Yahoo for $5.7 billion in 1999. Since then, he's invested in tech companies, sports teams, mission-driven businesses, and healthcare industries. His quest to find the next great idea led him to the Shark Tank. You know what they say, the rest is history. Since Cuban joined the cast of NBC's reality show in 2011, Shark Tank has won 4 Primetime Emmy Awards. Ratings also shot up since Cuban joined the cast in Season 2 as a guest shark and has stayed on for a regular spot since Season 3. All good things must come to an end, unfortunately, and in 2023, Cuban announced that the 16th season would be his last. Of course, that devastated fans of the show who'd tune in just to watch Mark and his wild antics. Everyone knows he has a nose for sniffing out a great idea whenever one walks through those Shark Tank halls, but he's also regarded as one of the most entertaining cast members on the show. Sometimes, though, he's also been known to say or do something that's either controversial or borderline problematic. Like the time he gave the founders of Splickety a piece of his mind. Chad and Doug Clark thought they had a groundbreaking idea when they walked into the tank. It was a password management application that saved all your passwords on one platform and guaranteed security from hackers. For the many people all over the world who are tired of having to remember all their different passwords, Splickety sounded like a godsend. For Mark Cuban, though, it sounded like a nightmare waiting to happen. Now, while there are several other password management applications available, Splickety wanted to do things a little differently. The app would generate passwords for users and save them using military-grade encryption technology. You'd think that someone with a background in tech investments like Mark would jump at the opportunity, right? The Clark brothers probably thought the same. However, they didn't get the investment they wanted. But they did get an earful. Mark asked them if either of them had a background in tech or security, and they admitted they didn't. Not only was the shark instantly out, but he wanted everyone watching at home to know not to waste their time with Splickety. This was a controversial move because a lot of people thought the billionaire investor was being unfair. He could have just said he was out and left it at that. No, he wanted to make sure that Splickety wouldn't even get off the ground. He got what he wanted because the application currently only has 5 reviews on the App Store, not something you'd expect from a thriving business. When you walk into the Shark Tank, you enter knowing you might get bit. In some cases, though, Mark turned around and bit his fellow sharks too. We're talking about the mess that went down with Orig Audio. Mike and Jason entered the tank with all the right stuff. A great product, great numbers, and a decent valuation. Orig Audio designed portable speakers, including a transducer that can convert anything into a speaker, and the world's first foldable speaker. It was one of those rare moments in the tank where everyone wanted a piece of the investment. However, it was clear that Mark wanted it a little more than the rest of them. Immediately, Mark made an offer. The problem was that he wasn't willing to let the other sharks make theirs. He told Mike and Jason that they had 24 seconds to either accept his offer or he was out. This has been a controversial move on Shark Tank for a while now. Every time Mark likes a product, he tries to intimidate the contestants into going with him. His common MO is to tell them if they even listen to what another shark has to say, he's out. And he was doing that with Orig Audio. And he stays true to his word too, because the second Mike and Jason let Robert have a turn, Mark loudly exclaimed that he was out. Not everyone can have a winning idea, and that'd be okay in some cases. If you come up with a shady business like Tycoon Real Estate in front of Mark Cuban, though, be prepared for what happens next. Some people would say that the ultimate goal of the show is to show ordinary people what it's like to have a startup or the ins and outs of being a young entrepreneur. While everyone might stay on for the laughs and entertainment, Shark Tank is meant to be educational in a sense. If not for the people at home, maybe at least for the contestants on the show. There have been times when people have walked in with less than stellar ideas, and the sharks tell them what they need to do to get ahead. Aaron McDaniel of Tycoon Real Estate was pretty misguided, and that's putting it lightly. When he walked into the tank with his crowdfunding enterprise and revealed that he'd been a serial entrepreneur, Mark went from being amused to downright angry. The shark didn't hold back. He told Aaron that contestants like him took away the spotlight from people who were serious about wanting to get their companies off the ground. He also accused Aaron of only appearing on the show for clout. That's something he's accused numerous contestants of over the seasons, and it's something that hasn't been well received by the show's fanbase. He called the founder of Simple Habit a gold digger, and fans were not happy about it. Mark looked like he would blow up at any minute when Yoonha Kim started talking about the numbers for her meditation app, and he eventually did. To recap, Yoonha walked into the tank and asked the sharks to meditate. Mark didn't like her pitch from the get-go, but was infuriated when he learned that the founder of Simple Habit had the capital she was trying to raise from the shark. If anything, she walked in with a crazy valuation, and Mark believed that she knew no one would agree to it. All Yoonha wanted, according to Mark, was to promote her business for free on the show, so he called her a gold digger. This fact was proved when Robert and Richard offered her the absurd $600,000 she was looking for against a 15% stake in Simple Habit, and Yoonha turned it down. The whole episode featured a charged Mark, and it didn't help that Richard threw water at him to cool him off. The billionaire shark was also offended at the fact that Yoonha spent much of her pitch talking about how Simple Habit had earned a spot as one of the top-rated apps on the App Store, crowdfunded millions, and had reached its yearly goals. All this proved that she was only on the show for free promotion. Mark's comments made Yoonha break down in tears, and some viewers believed he was being overly harsh, especially since the other sharks said the same thing a lot nicer than he did. Draymond and Lori, for example, asked Yoonha what she was even doing on the show if she admitted she'd already reached her goals. That's when Mark cut in to call the founder of Simple Habit a gold digger. Everyone was taken aback, even Yoonha, who thought she had misheard him. Nope, Mark repeated it just to make sure she heard him a second time. Even if Mark Cuban has had an unconventional or even controversial approach to the show, you have to admit he's one of the best investors around. Besides the Dallas Mavericks, Mark is also the co-owner of 2929 Entertainment, which he founded with Todd Wagner. Wagner was also co-owner of Broadcast.com. With 2929 Entertainment, Mark's redefined the entertainment landscape. The production house released Good Night and Good Luck, the 2005 historical drama film that was nominated for 6 Academy Awards, including Best Picture, and grossed $30 million worldwide. He's also invested in Cost Plus Drugs, 3 Commas, Luminade, and several sports-based companies over the years. Altogether, he has a massive investment portfolio, and he's even dabbled a bit in cryptocurrency. The man thoroughly vets every one of his investments and is always up to educate the masses on where to spend their money and where not to. Anyway, calling out the founder of Simple Habit for what she really was, to making sure that no one would ever spend their money on Splickety. Those were some of the most controversial Mark Cuban moments on Shark Tank.